Okay, thank you very much. So like as I was saying, you basically can use how to do whatever you want to do, from building statistical model, machine learning models, building your website, and basically doing anything you want to do. I mean, I had an interesting chat with a friend that was it last week on I connected with him on LinkedIn, and interestingly, he's using how to build a blockchain smart contract. That blew my mind. Getting to see and know that you can use how to build a blockchain smart contract. So there's a lot of development that is ongoing right now in the data science space. There are a lot you can use R to do. There's a lot you can use Python to do. There's a lot you can use Julia to do. And, this morning, basically for us, is getting to just have a chat. Let's have a chat with people who are professionals, people who have gone ahead of us, people who started this journey way back, and, get to sync with their experience and get to see, how things are for them. So we Lagos Service Group started March 2019. And interesting, before the pandemic, we've been having physical meetups, getting to rally and bring people, get to discuss, upskill different people and help them, bring them to a safe place when it comes to understanding data science and how, being a data analyst, being a data scientist, be it a business intelligence developer, business intelligence analyst, whatever role in the data field that they want to, work. I would want to be an expert in. And so we've been having different meetups, but prior to when the pandemic started, we had to ease down and slow down with all our activities, and had to adapt an online approach. But so this one of our first events after a very long time. There was no event last year, and we're basically practically using this as an avenue to get things ongoing back and get to bringing people into the fold and let them know that the community is there for them. And when it comes to upskilling, we are ready to help and assist. Okay, so for me, yeah, just basically just a data nerd. Let me use that word, a data nerd, a tech evangelist, and what can I say? I work actively today as a senior data scientist, one of fintech in Nigeria, and I've been very active, particularly in the data science space for a very long time now. Yes, last year was a bit quiet, but hopefully we're trying to see how things can go on from here. My background, I studied electrical electronics engineering, and I'm currently doing my MBA with the University of Suffolk in Ipswich, England. I once was a chairperson for African Data Engineer and Data Science Association, ADESA, that is for the Nigerian chapter. And I've had a lot of engagement with our consortium, our forwards, and basically all I do aside from work is upskilling, helping people become a better version of themselves, taking them from point A to point B, and basically human capital development advocacy. Okay, so with me on the call this beautiful morning, definitely this section, this live chat, this fire chat is definitely not going to be an interesting one if it's just me alone. I have two senior colleagues, friends, we've known each other for years now, if not going to 2 or 3 years. They are professionals in the field. They are not just limited to particular industries. They work on different projects. And that's just thing about one of our guests is that he has a published book on R, and I think after this section, you should all lay your hands on that book, get to read it. It's really going to, bring you to understand all that you need to know about R and data science. So our first panelist, our first guest this beautiful morning is Ezekiel Ogundepo. He's a data scientist, and like I said, he's a professional. He holds a master's degree in mathematical science from the Africa Institute of Mathematical Sciences, that is IMSS in Rwanda. And he's also, he's an expert in advanced statistical modeling, and he's worked on different projects. He's currently with 54 Gene as a data scientist, and he also volunteers with Data Scientist Network, which was formerly known as Data Science Nigeria, as a data scientist. He's contributed to a lot of open source projects, the Big Book of R, different packages, and he's also a certified R Studio instructor, just like me. And he's done a lot and great stuff. And I think I'm so excited to have him on the call, have him join us this beautiful morning. I look forward to tapping into his wealth of knowledge and experience, and seeing him, having him to share all that he has learned, all he has seen, all he has experienced with us. And lastly, I have Ola Kunle Joshua on the call. He's a man of little words. He doesn't really, you will get to see him as we continue on the call. He's a data analyst, an international scholar, and he's also a forester currently based in Italy. So it's very exciting and interesting to see someone out of the country get to join us on this section. Yeah, he's a Nigerian, finished from, did his master's in the University of Ibadan, and he also is a founder of Tag Nigeria, that is the Achievers Gathering Nigeria Network, which is basically a leadership organization centered at impacting lives of African youth. So it's so great to have everyone, have our panelists join us. So going straight into what we have today, I think I would like to have our panelists, our guest speakers, kindly unmute your mic and get to share your videos. Let's get to discuss. So as we continue on this section, it will be great to have people share their questions. If you have any questions, kindly drop it in the chat section. So I'll definitely pick your questions from the chat. If you have any questions, kindly drop your questions in the chat section, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, so can we have Ola Kunle Joshua, can you also unmute your mic and share your video so people can get to see you? Okay, so prior to this event, we requested and asked people to prepare their questions and drop their questions with us. So we have some set of questions which we'll be asking. But for as many that have not sent their questions already, kindly do that in the chat section, and we'll basically see how we can pick it up from there. Okay. So my first question will be to Ezekiel. Hi, Ezekiel. Can you hear me?
Yes, Fala, thank you so much. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, it's good to have you on the call this beautiful morning.
Thank you so much. Happy
okay, so
here.
Yeah, great, awesome. Okay, so my first question to you basically is, so looking at your wealth of experience, all that you've been doing, and looking at your journey so far, so what will you say has been the greatest and the number one motivating factor, pushing you, driving you to do all that you're doing, open source projects, now with 54 Gene, Data Science Nigeria, and working on other projects? What motivates you to do all of this?
Well, let me just say, let me put God first. I believe everybody is a lover of God. So what motivates me mostly is just the love of God, one, and two, ability to contribute to my community. I'm a Mastercard scholar, and one of the main duty of a Mastercard scholar is to be able to contribute to the community. And that is what has been my passion. In fact, I was so happy to see one of the book I contributed to, last year has been approved, which is the R Shining book solution. That's a book that helps to solve every question on the R Shining book that Adley Wickham contributed or that he wrote. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Awesome. Okay, so over to you, Ola Kunle. So please, can you just answering the same question? So can you just give us a brief intro on, okay, so what's like the motivating factor to do all that you are doing? You have Tag NG, you're leading the Tag NG community. You wrote a book on R for beginners, which you've been really driving and pushing all around. You did your master's, and you're also furthering your studies again. So basically, what has been the motivating factor? What has been pushing and driving you in all these pursuits? And so I think it would be good. We'd like to hear that and see how we can take it up from there.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm with you.
Okay, I don't know what's actually wrong with my video. So I choose to just go by the audio. So one of the motivating factors is the fact that I love to impact people. I love to impact young people, and this has been a kind of passion that have been with me right from my secondary school. So I discovered that during secondary school when I was the senior prefect boy, and I saw there is this kind of leadership attributes in me. And so over time, I've always been looking forward to like impacting young people when I see them. And the motivation behind the book I wrote was also to help promote the knowledge of VAR, not just in Nigeria and in Africa, because I did a research. I graduated from FUNAB, and at that point, I discovered few people have the understanding of VAR, including the lecturers and some other, majority of the students. And that was why I came about the book I wrote and the motivation behind me wanting to know more about R and using the knowledge to improve young people and the community at large. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, so over to you. Still with you, Joshua. Olakule Joshua. So I would like to, so basically, in this journey, what you see as the what has been the limitations? What has been the stumbling blocks? How were you able to scale through it? What exactly did you do differently from what others are doing to be able to arrive to where you currently are right now?
Okay, that's a very great question. You know, one of the great challenge I had was about the background. You know, most times there is a quote that says, "Do not allow your background to take you back to the ground." You know, my background was in forestry and it was much more of theory. But initially, I've been this kind of person that wanted to study engineering. And you know the state of things in Nigeria, sometimes you apply for a course and they give you something you don't even like. So then I was given forestry and then I started studying forestry. But I discovered my passion was not just fully into forestry, my passion was more into something that just has to do with calculation. And this I discovered when I was doing my master's in UI, and we started doing a course using arrow programming. And there I told myself, this is interesting. I need to learn more about it. And that was when I joined Lagos Arrow user team at that particular time. That was when I met you and met some other great people like Ezekiel and other great people that I've met on the platform. So one of the challenges was just uh, the statistics behind some of these concepts I had to learn. You know, I had to go back to understanding some deep theory for me to gain clear understanding on some of the algorithms I have to use. And again, when I discovered, you know, we found a lot of people who have been using R. And so one of the things I did was to create a niche for myself, you know, to create a niche for myself. Okay, I just want to be known in this particular area. So we started with my organization, we started visiting universities, and at the first place we started from was from FUNAB, and the management was so friendly, and you know they made everything available for us. The facility we use, the all, and they also joined us in the publicity on the website, and we have a lot of students in attendance. We also visited FUTA. So what I was trying to do was to create a niche for myself and at the same time relate with undergraduate students who practically don't have much knowledge on the use of R, especially some of the undergraduate students who are even doing a course that has to do with them understanding R, like those doing statistics engineering. So it's, for me, I felt, oh, no, we need to understand this. And there are some kind of testimonies I can share. There was when we started the training, one of the things that kept coming to my mind is the fact that we are lagging behind, like young people. And then I was just focusing on the area of academics. And so at one of the trainings, I said something and it was more like jokingly. While after doing the training, introducing people to our, and I told the participants, I said, I don't know many of you that might even be planning to like apply for some scholarship. I said, this particular training, the knowledge you gain will be very useful. And believe you me, at the end of the training, I have like 3 people who traveled out of the country just because of the fact that they displayed the knowledge they have gained using our program. So these are some of the challenges I faced, having to like come up where we already have a lot of professionals, having to like create a niche for myself and having to understand some theories behind the algorithms I need to use. Thank you.
That's great. That's good to really hear that. So currently today, what I know we get to, I'm still going. I'm going to come back to you, Ezekiel. We get to hear this a lot. We get to have this debates, regular, constant debates on Python or R. Should I Python is better than R is better than Python, and let me just chip this in. So is it Python or R, and why? So what do you see to be the opportunities that are available for our users, and how can we capitalize, how can we leverage on all of these to benefit ourselves, our community, and people around us?
Okay, if I'm to provide an answer to that question, one of the things we just need to understand first is that all these particular softwares are just tools to achieve a certain goal, right? So, for instance, my background is in forestry, and when I gained the knowledge on the use of our, I started seeing a lot of potentials, a lot of opportunities, and some of the things I could do using R, applying them to forestry. The same thing I can do with R, I can also do with Python. But if you look at R very well, it's more like a statistical software. It was built by a statistician, and it is strictly made for statistics. So many things that you could do with R, you can also do with Python. And to be honest with you, this is not what we should be debating. Python is so wide, much more than is so wide, but there are some advantages that R has over Python, and that is majorly in the area of statistics. And I believe Mr. Ezekiel, who is a statistician, who really have more understanding on statistics, would be able to say more about this. But from my understanding, I believe R is purely meant for statistical purposes. For instance, when I got to Europe, many of the opportunities I've been seeing have been around R, especially in the academics. The usage of Python in academics is still not that popular as you would see with R programming. So both of them are very good. This is my submission. Both of them are good tools in which you can use to achieve your aim. Sometimes there was a time we were doing a work and we've tried everything possible on Python. We've done everything possible and it was proving difficult, and it was just a simple code that we just wrote on R that gave us the kind of solution we've been looking for over time. So I believe I'm not going to say one is better than the other. It depends on what you want to do. For instance, you are a statistician, I would advise you to go with R programming. The same thing you can also do with Python. So Mr. Ezekiel will talk more about this because I believe he's a statistician and he has more experience in that area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, so over to you, Ezekiel. What's your response to that question?
Well, that's a difficult question. And as you can see, that kind of question has been asked all over the world about which one is better, R or Python. So for me, I would just say that both of them are good and they are just tools for data science, be it R, be it Python. But the advice that people always advise is that learn one and then after learn the other. So for me, I learned R first because I'm a statistician, and afterward, I also learned Python. So it took me like maybe 4 years to learn R, and to be able to use it very well in an industrial usage. And then for Python, it took me just 1 year to pick it up, and I got it right. Not because Python is simple or simpler than R, no. I learned R very well, and that took me 4 years because of I don't have any background in computer science. And to understand syntax, it will take a lot of time, to find your way out, which one is ggplot2, when can we use geom east, geom plot, and all of that. But once you have gotten the understanding of the syntax, to now learn the other, you can see that it is very, 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 it will be very, very easy. There was a project we did for Vudan. So they call it a virus outbreak data network. It's a network of Africa and Asia to build a platform that can solve the problem of shared data. Okay, we developed a module in Python, and we use Jupyter Notebook to do that. But the problem now is that we need to now transfer what you have done in the Jupyter Notebook into an MS Word file, which we have like .docx, that is MS Word format, right? Okay, it was so difficult to do that in Jupyter Notebook with Python. So what we did was that we had to now convert that Jupyter Notebook as R Markdown format, then take it back to R programming using R Markdown, reformat all the codes, and then knit it so that we can have the MS Word file. And that is what saved us at that time. So if I don't know R programming, it means that we'll not be able to achieve that. We Google, we try to do different research and all of that without no advantage, until we have to come to the reason of, oh, let's use R Markdown to reproduce this. And that's our problem. Which means that once you are learning R, after a while, and you have mastered R very well, then go into Python. And if you have mastered Python very well, make sure you go into R as well. In fact, I have another example. One of my friends who is currently working in a bigger organization, very, very bigger organization, if I can say that. Okay, is a Pythonista. And the project they gave to him now, he will be using R to do that. Imagine he has to come to the understanding of R, start learning R one by one. I gave him different books to learn R, and he's on it now. Can you see now? So which means that if you know R and Python, you become a robust data scientist or whatever you want to call yourself. Thank you.
Okay, great, awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Basically, for me, I think in my journey and getting to mentor, guide people, the easiest answer to kill this question or this debate is basically getting to know what their background is like. So when people get to meet me, ask me to guide them, to mentor them, they need to understand that the first question I always get to ask is, okay, what did you study? Like, I always want to get to know what they studied. I always want to get to know what they do, what their day-to-day activities like. So if you are a programmer, if today you're actively a software engineer, or you are so very active building software solutions, I always advise you pick Python, because it's something you'll be able to easily sync with, because I'm sure in your journey you will have done one or two things with Python before. But if you are without any prior knowledge or experience with programming, you've not done anything with Python, basically you come from a statistical background, maybe you are a marketer, or you are you are coming from the academic sector, or you've not practically done, maybe just been Excel for you, I feel relating with R is pretty much easier. It's very easy, and but to be a professional full stack data scientist, looking at the future, looking at where we're going to, it's always a very great and interesting thing to have an understanding of the two languages, because the sincere truth is, let's assume and say you're living in Nigeria today, or you're living in a particular company to another company tomorrow. There's a likelihood that the data science team, they will be very diverse, or the likelihood that they are stereotyped to a particular language. So assuming you're using Python and you go to a new location, and what they are using there is R. How do you want to get to adapt? Do you want to start learning then, or do you want to, prepare yourself before then? So I think it's not about Python or R, but it's about taking out time to create the balance, embrace the two, and see how you can go. Actually, currently right now, what you can actually do with Python, you can do with R. Like I said, while starting this section, people are building blockchain with R. People are building smart contracts with R. I think maybe going forward into the year, one of the sections I'll get to invite, you'll get to have a section on, for as many, so for any blockchain enthusiasts and people who basically have interest in Web3, we get to see what it is like. And I think, was it during the week or last week, there was a section on how to build your blog, build your website with R. So R is already moving and going beyond just building machine learning models or for statisticians alone. It's going into more diverse and broad space. So being a business intelligence developer, you can so much explore and use R for whatever you want to do. I think of recent, I've been seeing a lot of posts from Applicant. They are one of they are our studio, our consortium key partners, and anything that relates to our Shiny dashboard, building automated reporting end to end. They are very active in that space. They've been recruiting they do a lot of recruitment for Shiny developers. And it's very interesting to see what you can do with Shiny. The Shiny package, the Flex dashboard package, the Shiny dashboard package, Golem and other stuff that are currently available. GG Plus too. So there's a lot of, opportunities. There's a lot of things that can be done with R. I think it's a very good one, but also just balancing the question, it's a very good thing to have an understanding of both languages and you get to use it. Okay, yeah, Ezekiel, I can see you have your hands raised. Please,
okay,
can you?
All right, thank you so much, Fola. I want to add to what you have said before. When you are talking about R or you are viewing R, don't see R as a specific domain-specific language. For example, people will always say that R is meant for only statisticians and all of that. No. If you know R very well, in fact, you'll be happy within yourself that, you can boast like, I know R and I can use R for anything. Like me, I went at Federal University of Technology, who happens to be a computer science, and I've never seen a person like him before. He said that he was trained in Indian, and at that time he was exposed. And although he has gotten the understanding of Python as well, but he would like to use R. But I'm not saying that R is the best or R is the one that you guys will know. No. Just be like Fola, know the two, and be like Joshua as well, know the two. First, know one, later, know the other, and your problem will be solved. Thank you.
Awesome, great. And okay. So before I come back to it, okay. So I think I can see a question was asked by Emmanuel Buchuku in the chat section. So his question is, how does R fit in the modern data stack? So the MDS space, I'm sure one of the trends, and I think it's one of the conversation we even need to have. One of the trends coming to this year is getting to see a lot of people embracing the analytics engineering space. A lot of people saying I'm an analytical engineer and a lot of this and a lot of that. So basically looking at the modern data stack. So how does R fit into all of this? So what is our position? What is our role? So this question I think I'm going to address it to Ezekiel. So how does R fit in the modern data stack, the MDS piece?
As you said before, so whatever Python can do in any data science aspect or pieces, just know that R can also do it as well. That's just my answer to that.
Okay, awesome, great. Okay, so to also address the question, I think my own contribution, my own take to this, to your question, Emmanuel, is basically the fact that so today, our ecosystem is growing massively. Unlike 2 years ago, unlike 3 years ago, when you're just only limited to the R Studio IDE, there's a lot you can actually really do with R right now. There's a lot you can actually really do in the data sciences. Actually, this section is more about data science. So please, if you have more questions relating to maybe Python, relating to things you need to know, you need to understand about data science, starting your career, transitioning into tech, and what have you, please do well to share it in the chat section or drop it on Slido. Okay, so also to answer that same question, so like I was saying, our ecosystem is very wide and very vast right now. And when I say vast, I mean very vast. Building end-to-end technologies, end-to-end pipelines, it's pretty much, on top of the game right now. When it comes to CRAN, looking at CRAN, that is the comprehensive R archive network that houses all the different R packages. I mean, that's one of the major strengths for R2 as an ecosystem. We have more than 3,000 packages that are addressing different things, some addressing the same things. And, so there's something called R Connect. So with R Connect, so I wish I had a slide to show this, but maybe subsequent session I'll get to relate that to everyone. But when you're looking at building an end-to-end R solution, right from starting from your R Studio ID to building to positionalizing whatever project you're working on, the R ecosystem has that in check. So you're writing your script, you're building your model. You can, through Plumber, you can consume your API. You can consume, you can consume whatever output from your model and feed it into whatever system you want to feed it to. I think we're going to address that question. That's one of the questions that was being asked that I'm going to also drop. You can deploy the outputs, consume whatever solution you built with R Shiny. You can present your work with R Markdown. You can also deploy on different solutions. Was it recently? I think it was late last year. R Studio announced a partnership with AWS. So with AWS and AWS SageMaker, with AWS, you practically can, deploy your R solution. You can deploy whatever you've done and consume it live, on the platform. That is currently available. There's another particular infrastructure as a service cloud platform, Saturn Cloud. They had a section, I think that was about 2 weeks ago. Right now with the platform, you can positionalize, you can reproduce whatever tasks you're doing on their platform. So it means it's very easy right now to connect, APIs, connect whatever solution, connect whatever you are doing to whatever you built on R. There's R Studio Cloud. There's a new idea that just came up, R Code, which I'm currently exploring. It's a new idea to interface, for the R ecosystem. It's an interesting one. The UI and UX is very cool and sleek. I think you should try it out. You should take out time to look at it as well too. So there are different tools. R Connect helps you, to plug in whatever project you're doing, positionalize it, monitor and track it, user authentication. Everything is all set and all stacked on the platform. So I'm not sure you have any issues, embracing all of that. So I think you're in a safe place. If you are currently using R and you want to really understand, or you want to understand the whole ecosystem end to end, you are in a very, very safe place, because all of that is being worked on. Some are available, and we are still progressing. Okay, so over to you. I think I've said I said one or two things, but I would still like to address it. I would like Ezekiel to shed more light on it. So far, looking at all the different projects you've worked on, how were you able to, deploy it to production? How were you able to positionalize your work? Can you explain how you connected different APIs to your projects? How were you able to expose it for public consumption? And what was the whole process and your journey like?
Is the question?
Yes, the question is for you, Ezekiel.
Okay. First of all, I want to just add to what you said before, based on the question of the MDS. I like everything you said, and you can see that everything you say all come down to you understanding what R can do. So if you don't know what R can do, there is no way you just be saying, oh, it's Python, it's Python, it's Python. You are saying it's Python because you have mastered Python and you know what Python can do. Mm-hmm. But if you also sit down, then understanding those base functions, packages, techniques, and all other stuff, then you'll be able to see that, oh, how to can do most of the stuff. So thank you. But based on what Fola just asked now, I was able to do all my stuff in R. Okay, where can I start? Okay. For example, we did the project for the Lagos Bureau of Statistics. Although, please let me just say that I'm working closely with 54G now, so I'm just a volunteer for Data Science Nigeria now. Okay, so we did a project, and in that project, we use R programming to start from the beginning and to finish it to the end. So we also try to use Azure Synapse, to perfect everything. And I think that the project is ongoing now in a wonderful way. So let me just stop from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so okay, still with you, Ezekiel. Okay, so how do you get to, because right now I think one of the things that people are not aware of, and still speaking to the modern data stack, is the fact that you can write your Python codes on R. You can run, instead of just using Jupyter Notebook, you can do everything on R Studio. You know, you can produce your work with R Connect. Your Python scripts, everything on R Connect, you can deploy everything on R. You know, people are not really aware of that. So how do you get to write your, since you both use R and Python, how do you get to use your Python codes on R Studio? How do you get to use it with R? Bringing to mention the reticulate package that is currently existing. So what has been your experience using both R and Python on the same ID, the same project, and all around building a particular project? What has been your experience?
Let me just say that the journey has been so fun. I love it. For example, the project we did for Vodan under the sponsorship of what do you call it, Ministry of Economic Affairs in Netherlands. So the project was developed in Python, but because we had a problem of converting into MS Word, all of that, so we have to take it to the R programming with the help of Reticulate, which means that our code in Python still remains the same. So we use R Studio to rerun the stuff after we just try to trick it, in the R way with the help of Reticulate package and other packages in Python. Your Python, what do you call it? The Python modules, they are still the same. They are the ones that are still working. But the engine that makes everything works better and works smoothly is a Reticulate package. And in fact, it's so easy. You don't even need to learn how before you can use all of these before you can run your Python. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so Joshua, you have your hands raised. Please, over to you.
Yeah. I just want to add to what we've been saying. Speaking from some of the little experience I have working with some data here. Like you said, the R core development team on regular occasions works on improving R, and they are also aware of this kind of debate going on as to which is better between R and Python. But for them, their concern is not having to have R to be much more better than Python, but having to have people see R as a kind of tool where they can do everything possible. So like we were talking about API just now, sometimes you are working on R and you just need some data sets that you want to use in your work. So instead of you jumping out of the platform to say you want to go download, it is easy for you to just using some kind of packages in R, gain some access into downloading that particular data set and start working with it. You talked about the plumber that allows you to like convert our kind of functions into API. So there are a lot of developments, like the Python that we are saying. When I started learning Python, I think it was a mentor of mine in the United States that told me, "Oh, guy, it is high time you move away from R and you start learning Python." And so I said, okay, this is going to be hard for me because sometimes it is hard when you have the knowledge of R to move into Python. You are always scared, like, am I going to start? How am I going to do? It's normal. But one thing is this: when you have like a good understanding of R, other programming languages becomes very easy. That's what I've discovered. Other programming language becomes very easy. Like when I joined the lab in this particular place with a professor and getting to this place, some other things I don't even know, like some codes they shared with me, different things on shining, different stuff, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And even things that are even outside the R environment. But it amazing how the platform captures everything, including MATLAB and all sort of things that you can think of. So for me, it boils down to we being dynamic and not being static. Like, don't stay long on a particular tool, right? Saying, okay, you want to be known with this, it is good, but as time goes on, there is need for you to also proceed. So you won't, like what Fola said, so you won't get to a particular environment where they are diverse and they use a lot of softwares, a lot of tools, and you're like, okay, this is the only thing I know. A little knowledge on Python can save you out. Sometimes it can save you from some mess when you are engaged in some work. So it's a big platform, like we said, that incorporates a lot of things that you can do without you stressing yourself. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, so over to you. Still with you, Olakunle. So what do you see? Are there any limitations with R right now, currently? Yes, we'll be talking about a lot of things, MDS, the opportunities in the space, what has been happening, what you can do with the platform and everything. But so far, currently, right now, are there limitations? What are the limitations that you see when it comes to using R?
Okay, you see, for me, I'm going to say this based on experience and exposure, right? While I was in Nigeria, there are things I felt we can't do without. But on getting to this place, I've seen things, and I'm actually currently taking some kind of courses on how you can apply. Like for me, when you talk of artificial intelligence, one thing that would always come to my mind would be, oh, let's talk about Python. But when I got to this place, I saw some of my professors using R in artificial intelligence, neural networks, and some other things like that, and I'm amazed. Like it was on Thursday. There was a meeting we had with a professor in the university in the US. Just looking at, I'm just speaking from the academic network and using that to like address the question you are saying as to if there are limitations. So if for me, then I would have been thinking, okay, limitations exist in the level of the application of R into artificial intelligence. And this is based on the knowledge I have then. Based on the knowledge I have. If you have asked this kind of questions from someone who is so vast, who has worked with maybe R Consortium or someone working with R Studio, like what's the name of this lady? Like you ask this kind of question from Rita Turner, she would have told you, oh, no, this, and that. But based on my own kind of experience and understanding on R, of which, R is very wide and you won't expect one individual to like know everything about it. So for me, if I'm to answer this kind of question, I would be looking at the level of artificial intelligence, right? I've not seen much work as it is with Python. I've not seen that in our program. Thank you.
Thanks for that feedback. Actually, every day we are seeing new development. That's also one of the interesting things about the data science space. You don't get to know it all. Every day you get to keep upskilling, you get to keep learning. And the interesting thing about how is the fact that in the ecosystem, new packages are always coming every day. People are churning out different packages every day. When it comes to deep learning, building advanced machine learning stuff, there are packages you can use to build deep learning algorithms. There's neural nets, there's Keras, there's a wrapper for Keras, there's a wrapper for TensorFlow, all of that in R, which is an interesting one. Okay, so let's switch a little bit so it doesn't look like all our conversation here is just about R. Okay, so to you, Kule, I'll see, like, I think there's a question in the chat section asking, so what's the difference between these words, data science, data analytics, machine learning, and AI? So can you just give us what's from your perspective, what do you see to be the major and key difference between data science? Are they related? Why are they related? What's the similarities? What are the differences? data science, data analytics, machine learning, and AI. Over to you, Kunle.
Okay. So it's a very good question when you look at the two words, right? So one of the things we need to get to understand is to, like, I like to break down that word into like data and science, and then we talk about data and analytics. So why, data science focuses on finding some kind of meaningful correlations between some kind of large data set. So, but when you now want to get some kind of uncover specific patterns, so you begin to talk about data analytics. And most times when you look at like some business, for instance, when you have like banks, I don't know, when you have like banks, my mentor works at the US banks where every kobo is being accounted for. So you begin to talk more about data analytics where you just want to get a lot of meaningful insights, right, from the kind of data you are working from. So as to machine learning, it's more like you are feeding a kind of thing, like when we were talking about the advantages. One of the advantages of we understanding some of these tools is that back then in those days, if you are to get like calculate linear regression on a large data set, you would have wasted a lot of time solving it on the paper. In fact, we can't even, it will take you years solving it on paper. But with the advent of some of these softwares, it becomes very, very easy. So the concept of machine learning is much more similar. It you feeding the machine with some kind of information and telling telling the machine, okay, whenever you see this kind of thing, this is what you're going to do, and then you train your algorithm based on that, and then you can have a kind of test. I mean, the train and the test data set. After you have built the algorithm, you can then use this particular thing to like test it. That is for me my understanding on machine learning, teaching the machine to understand some principles, giving it a lot of data, testing it over time to be sure that, oh, now this particular model has been built and it can be deployed to find solutions to whatever problems that is on ground. Thank you.
Thanks for that feedback. So Ezekiel, please, can we just see, from your perspective, what do you see to be the difference between these words that are thrown around, data science, data analytics, machine learning, and AI?
All right, thank you so much, Fola, and thank you for your explanation, Joshua. So for me, I would just say that let's see it in this way. Let's call AI the grandfather, okay? Let's call data science the father, and let's call data analytics the son. So for example, AI is just the master of all of them. Are you getting it? AI is all about creating an automated machine, okay, that can solve any problem, okay? While data science is all about answering questions based on the data set. So data science is just a discipline, that combines different fields like mathematics, statistics, computer science, and business domain to be able to solve a particular problem that is related to data, okay? While data analytics is just you analyzing your data, okay, with different tools. So you can just see it in that way. So let me just stop you from there. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Simple explanation. Okay, so over to you, Ezekiel, still with you here. We have a lot of people, I'm sure we have a lot of people who are looking forward to transitioning into tech, into the data science space. They want to get to learn about data science. They want to, okay, what's happening? We are hearing this tech Texas. I'm hearing this one today. Okay, I'm a data professional, I'm a data this, I'm a data that. So what do you think is the safest and easiest way to come into the field, come into the space, and what basically will you recommend? What are your recommendations in starting out in the data science space, you know, for those who want to be data analysts, for those who want to be business intelligence analysts, business intelligence developer, data scientists, data engineers, you know, machine learning engineers, machine learning developers, whatever what we call it, natural language engineers and stuff like that. So what do you think, or what are your suggestions, what are your recommendations, what are your advice in helping people kickstart their journey, their career?
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me just start from here. I hope some of my people are here. As I always say, the first thing to do is not actually about any programming. The first thing to do is for you to master spreadsheets. I know people may not agree with me. Okay, people may not agree with me. People always talk about Python, SQL, R programming, all of that. But for me personally, I will tell you, master spreadsheets first, be it Excel or Google Sheets, because most of the stuff are done in this spreadsheet. And if you don't know spreadsheet and you only know programming, you are on your own. Oh, somebody's agreeing with me. Kola, okay, thank you so much. Okay, you have to get data first before you can get any insight. Without data, you cannot do anything. And you can't get data in now except you are fetching from the API or you are importing data set into it. And in fact, even if you are importing data sets, it will be from CSV, from Excel, from SPSS, from the web, and all of that. And most of these data sets, as you can see, they are all, you know, put in spreadsheets. And in fact, maybe your problem can even be solved with just Excel and not even all of that. So if you are coming to data science space, business, analytics, and all of that, first, master spreadsheet. Master, like me, although people know me for R, but I understand Excel very well. Oh. So that's just it. So master Excel, master everything about especially spreadsheet, Google Sheets. Because nowadays that people are working remotely, you know, your data may be residing on the drive or wherever, or you are automating stuff. And you can also do it in spreadsheet. You can connect from different spreadsheets using different import function in spreadsheet, in Google Sheets. So the main stuff is master Excel, master spreadsheet, master it very well, Like you can clean data, you can do anything, you can automate your calculation as they are entering the data. You are getting the calculated feed automatically. After you have done that and you are happy that you know Excel very well, let me tell you something. I got a job in Rwanda because I know Excel at that time. I knew Excel very well at that time. So we have different stages of interview. I passed those interviews. Then the last one was having the interview with the director of the bank. They call it KCMB Bank. You can go and Google about it. The man said, see, I don't like anyone disturbing my other seniors in all of that. I want you to be independent and you must know Excel. I said, oh my God. I said, yeah, of course, I know it. Even at that time, I don't even know most of what I know now by the grace of God. I said, I know Excel. He said, can you prove it? I said, sir, do you know about Excel Bible? He said, no, what is Excel Bible? I said, it's a book that has more than 600 pages. And I have read all of them. He said, yeah, you have read? I said, yes. And so they gave us questions, I solved it and all of that. And they gave me that job. But later I rejected it because I prefer another company, which is Rwanda Revenue Authority. And that was how my journey in Rwanda Revenue Authority began. Which means that with just Excel or any spreadsheet tool, you can actually get a job. After you have now known all of that, then let me say, go and learn statistics. Because all of this, machine learning, data science, everything, all depends on statistics. People may not agree. Yeah, no problem. But master statistics, understand all the stuff. Because it will not be good if you are saying that the average of the female is 70. You know, average of female, what do you understand by average of female? Because you don't understand what data is. And if you don't master data, you can't get any insight. All that you get will just be full of errors. My friend will say, oh, I won't give you a job if you don't know some of small statistical concepts. So please learn. You can take 2 courses, 3 courses. I don't say to go back to school and start getting degree in statistics. No. If you take like 5 courses in inferential statistics, in demographic and all of that, I think you are okay. So you can get all of this online. Any statistical books, okay. I will send something on the chat so that you can look at where you can get different books. And some of them are actually using R programming to solve all of that. So after you have done your statistics and you are okay, then you are free to choose any programming language of your choice. Thank you so much, Fala.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, Joshua, over to you.
Yes, everything Ezekiel have said, I perfectly agree with it. And I just want to share like an experience, not a good experience anyway, but because we are here to like encourage ourselves and challenge ourselves to like get better. You know, the first job I was to get in Italy when I got to Europe was with a company called Supplier. So
Okay.
they were looking for someone who was going to like use R. That was what they were looking for. And I felt, wow, this was the kind of best fit for me. I got the job notification on LinkedIn. So the day I was to do the interview, it was online. And I was expecting them to send me data set and, me to work on R. And they sent Excel and the questions were to be carried out on Excel. And so I was disappointed because at that point I wasn't really expecting anything on Excel. And because if I'm to go for any kind of thing, I have to review like my knowledge on Excel, some things I've known and I've not been using regularly. And so that day I was disappointed, and it was only just 30 minutes I was given to solve that task. To be honest with you, I messed up with that opportunity that was to give me like 3,000 euros on a monthly basis. So I perfectly agree with what Mr. Ezekiel have said. And one thing again that I would also want us like understand very well is SQL. So while we have the understanding on Excel, we also need to understand SQL. And the question you ask is, for those who are coming in, what are the kind of advice you would give? One very good advice I would give is join some kind of organization, join some kind of forums. Like if I'm to talk about my growth now in terms of data science and some other things, it is by virtue of association, the kind of people I work with, right? If you are interested in getting better in data science and the people you choose as your friend and the people you choose to associate with are just people who are playing Naira bet, the best they can teach you is how to win Naira bet, how to get Arsenal over Chelsea. But if it is your interest, programs like this should interest you, right? Where you meet with people, where you reach out to people, please, how do I go about this? Can you recommend some books like the question someone is asking on the chat room? These are ways in which one can actually get better. And again, I'm also going to say this, that if we are also going to like come into this kind of space, we should look global. We should look global. Like there are a lot of things that we won't really understand until we have some kind of broader mindset, broader perspectives. The first time I heard about machine learning, it was from this same Lagos users. I don't know, maybe you can still remember this time, Mr. Fola. There was a program, it was on machine learning. I think I still have the materials, I still have those codes.
Awesome.
What's the name of this guy? His name Ajayi.
Yeah, Ajayi, yes.
So he was the one that came that day. And then I was like, okay, no problem. And I reached out to him on LinkedIn and we became friends. And from there, I started learning, improving. And so that's the best way. If you want to get better, right, and even do greater things beyond what anyone have done before, after mastering some of these things, there are some habits you need to have, right? The habit of never giving up, the habit of working, practicing on a daily basis. You won't say you want to get better with R, and the only time you work with R is just once in 5 months. No, it won't work that way. So I would encourage us, to keep developing ourselves, keep practicing, and then maintain the right association and join the right group. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think another contribution I'm going to make to that question is the fact that, like you said, your association is very key. Association matters, who you move with. And yeah, I know we're in an era today where things move very fast. You know, you pick up a course on data camp today, and next 5 minutes you are on YouTube. You know, you are overwhelmed with too many courses. Like it's an era of information overload, and if you are not careful, you'll be swarmed and you'll be lost in the whole wind. So what I always advise and encourage people to do is have mentors, you know, have senior friends, have associates, be around people that you most likely know will be in the best position to guide and help you. You know, and you know, apart from just learning, another thing that association will do for you is there are times where people like us, people like Joshua, like Ezekiel, and other professionals out there get external jobs, get other side hustles, get other side jobs. But because of their schedule, how busy they are, you know, they won't be able to attend to it. They will most likely reject it. But on a good day, if you are an association or you are within their net to another particular moment and they've been able to see your skill set, they'll be willing to recommend you. Oh, okay, so please, can you work on this project? Can you do this? Can you do that? Funny enough, I think last year I rejected practically. Yeah, I was off the online space, but even being off the online space, I rejected close to like about 6 or 7 different job offers, and they were like good money. But you know, sincerely, I'm very sincere because I was off the social media space. I was detached and everything. I did not get to really connect and communicate with people. But if I had people around me, around that people, maybe those jobs will have gotten it. Funny enough, 2 weeks ago, I rejected another offer again, you know, because I just saw my activities, my schedule, and I felt that I'm too busy. I can't do all of this. You know, I can't do this, I can't do this. So I just had to I needed to focus on my job. So association helps you with all of this. It's open this door for you. You don't know what people are actually going through. A lot of people right now with this working from home, you know, we're in an era of one of the next thing I'm going to go into. We're going to head and go straight into. You know, we're in an era of great resignation. Let me use that word, or a lot of people call it great shuffling. You know, since last year, like everybody around me are just resigning, leaving their job, and it's like, I don't wow, what is happening?
But why?
You know, funny enough for me too, I also, you know, left my previous job, moved, and I know some people that are on this call that also left. So a lot of people are actually moving. So, and the quick question is, how can we capitalize on this? How can we prepare ourselves? Because there's this quote that's like my favorite quote, and it's the fact that opportunity has to meet preparation. You know, opportunity has to meet preparation. If you are not prepared now, when the opportunity comes in the future, it's going to pass you by. So you want to start preparing. Yeah, be it you are using Python, be it you are using R, be it you are using Microsoft Excel. And the interesting thing is with Microsoft Excel, you can do a lot. Microsoft Excel, you can use it to build machine learning models. If you don't know, there's Azure Machine Learning Studio plug-in on Microsoft Excel. You get, and to me, if you are not working with big data, if you are not working with any data set that is above 1,000, 400,000, 104,000 rows, I'm not sure you have any business disturbing yourself with Python or R for basic analytics. You know, you don't have a business disturbing, you don't have any. What's your business with R and Python? When you can do all of this in Power BI, in Microsoft Excel, in Tableau. So these are simple tools that you can easily pick up. You know, put in your CV, start working on projects, pick up Excel, pick up data sets online. There are public data sets. You know, COVID-19, the pandemic has even made things more interesting. There's a lot of public data sets online on COVID. Go and school and download, and you know, start visualizing, start doing all the things that you need to do. You know, put that in your portfolio, build your portfolio, work on projects, and you know, from there you can basically really grow. You know, that really helps. But in all of these, I think mentorship is also very key. One of my connection, one of the people that are my network, Mant Dancho, for some of us that are in the house space, who very familiar with the name, the founder and the owner of Business Science. I think he normally and regularly used to say this, that in his data science journey, he practically spent a lot of years evolving around a particular circle. Because what? Because at that particular moment, he was limited to only what he knew. but immediately he understood how to go in his journey, connecting with people with great minds and networking with communities like the Lagos Arizona group and whatever data science community that is around you. It's like a breakthrough for you. So you want to capitalize on, you want to leverage on those connections. You want to leverage on those connections, not just for the job that you will get, but for discipline and accountability. Because I'm very sincere with you. With this information era, we have a lot of internships, we have a lot of boot camps, we have a lot of programs. So how well do you want to navigate around all of this? Do you want to do everything? Do you want to be seen in this place today, seen in this place tomorrow? No, it's about focus, discipline, knowing what you want and going for it. So start with Microsoft Excel as Ezekiel recommended, and from there continue to grow up the ladder. Thank you. I think, Joshua, you're raising up your hand. Do you have something you want to say?
No. This particular question you raised is such an important question. And I just want to share like another experience again. Talking about association, there is someone that joined the call, and I think maybe he's still there or has left, is the one in charge of Ghana Arrow user team. And so how did we meet? We met on LinkedIn. So he reached out to me on LinkedIn, and there we started doing some work together. So, and again, another example, because I'm just sharing, like, if you ask me, how has been the journey? Like, how have I, like, where I am now, how have I arrived at this particular place? I would always talk about association. I met you. I've learned a lot of things from you. And I could remember there was a time when I was in Lagos, and I was just in my house, and someone called me from Abuja that they needed me to come for a training in Abuja. I was scared. I was like, she couldn't see your kidnapper, But I told them, I said I was not ready to go to Abuja. They said they booked my flight, they've done everything. I said, I reached out to people. I called Mr. Ezekiel. Do you recommend me to anybody? I called this person. For you to understand how important networking is, it was someone I never even expected that recommended me for that kind of training in Abuja. And there was one that even it was Mr. Ezekiel that brought me, and it was like, oh, Joshua, are you available? And I said, I'm available, and that gave me some money. That gave me some money. So association matters. Like now, just as you said, maybe on the group, if we have like some task so that we can also be making money. Like someone when I was in Nigeria, it was just one guy from Australia that I got the job from. And from that guy alone, I made $1,000 from that guy alone. And what was he doing? He was studying at the University of Bond in Australia, and it was just on statistical learning. So that association gave me that kind of knowledge and some codes that I was not even taught in UI. I was not taught anywhere. But by virtue of some of those things, the jobs I collect, I learn from those codes. So on the group, we can, like, if there are any kind of jobs that we can do, like there is one I have on survival analysis, and if they are paying, they will pay very well. So some of these things are what we can use to like help ourselves. But it all boils down to you being on the right association, being on the right group, knowing the right people, And for me, if there's anything I always look forward to, it is having the right association. Today, before I connected to this meeting, one of my friends is a PhD student in Sweden. And, my knowledge on Shiny is, if I'm to classify my knowledge on Shiny, maybe 40% or even 20%. But all of a sudden, the guy called me, and he is very vast, very brilliant. He's from Togo. And he just called me that he wants us to collaborate on something together. And I was happy. I was happy because I knew if he's calling me to collaborate, I know I have a lot to benefit. I have a lot to learn, and I have a lot to bring down. So that's the way associations are. I've learned, I can say, I have a lot of people here that I've learned a lot from. So I would want us to like take serious that part of association, work with the right set of people, that goes in line with your career path. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And also, okay, so I have a question. So to answering Bentley Obieke, Olakule Joshua is currently in Italy. Yes, he's currently in Italy. Okay, so Another thing that I think I would like to point out is that so entering into this space, answering the question around how do I position myself. Interestingly, I had a lot of friends that left Nigeria last year, and man, it's a good offer. I'm not. It depends on whatever God is saying. If I opportunity to let me just stop there. My quota may be on the call. But another way to position yourself, another way to position yourself is contribute to open source projects. Contribute to open source projects. You want to take out time to. For now, I think it should be more around being a subject matter expert in something. A lot of people are saying a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, on Twitter, trying to contribute to the ecosystem, grow people and the like. So I think one of the most important things is also contributing to open source projects on LinkedIn. Today, share knowledge, share some of how little it is. That consistency is what matters. You don't need to spend 4 hours, 5 hours. I was speaking to some of my friends yesterday evening, telling them you don't have to spend 4, 5 hours or 6 hours to learn something. That 30 minutes, that 1 hour that you are putting into that your learning process every day is something. It's just compared to a little drop of water in a bucket. Consistently over a particular period of time, you will have a full bucket. So it's about being consistent. Share content on LinkedIn. Have your blog, Medium, and be consistent whatever you're doing. With that, you're open to opportunities. People will get to see you. I know a lot of people that did not apply for jobs, they did not send their CVs anywhere. They just got people connecting and chatting with them on LinkedIn. Most of the jobs I rejected last year, most of the jobs I declined last year, most of them were connections from LinkedIn. I did not apply for anyone. They just came on. So you can also explore that too as well in being able to explore and start your career when it comes to the data science space. Okay, so I think I'm going to go back to Ezekiel, and so we can just quickly run fast. So for those who are currently active in the data science space, for those who are using R, for those who are using Python and are looking forward to improving themselves, upskilling, just like me, I always feel wherever location, wherever state I'm currently right now, there's more to it. You get. So what do you think we should do? How best can we improve ourselves? What else should we look forward to exploring to get better opportunities, contribute to the community at large?
Okay, thank you so much, Fola. Okay, so in your hard skill, I'll just say that number one, please don't be offended. Let's not be lazy. Okay. Of course, many of us are using packages. We don't even know where the package, come from. We don't know who even develop it. We don't even know 2 or 3 syntaxes and all of that. Let's keep on exploring more, explore more. I have my guy on this group, and that is Isaac Ajao. He's a doctor, a doctor of statistics, a PhD in statistics rather. So I just want to say something about him. This man, he always explore more. It's our guy. He always explore more. Sometimes ask me, have you heard about this package? I said, no, sir, I've not. He said, okay, go and look at it and come back to me. And there was a package he showed me one day, which can give you the equation of a model in a LaTeX mode. For example, you have trained your model and you want to know the equation. Instead of you struggling, to be doing it by yourself, this package will do it for you automatically. And let me tell you something. I have not told him this. Is here. That is Dr. Isaac Kojo. I got a particular gig based on that package that this my professor showed me. Although I did not share the site with him. I did not, it just came an impromptu like, Ezekiel, can you help me do this? And I remember, doctor just told me something one day, and I just applied that, and instantly I got my money and I kept it in my pocket. Okay, so that is just it. Let's keep on exploring more. Thank you so much. Equitomatic, yes. That was the package he showed me that time. And I look at it, I learn it, I know it offhand, so that anytime the problem comes, I know where to go. Then there are a lot of articles on our blogger. I always use our blogger a lot. In fact, when I'm sleeping, I want to know what is new in her. Because if you know something, it is good that people also know you with it. That is where the money will come. Because if I know, oh, Joshua is an hard person, anything I throw to him, he will quickly accept it. Of course, when there's a problem, I'll quickly run to him, say, oh, are you available? As I always say, are you available? Can you take this up? And he will do it excellently. The same thing with Fola and all of that. Okay, so let's just be known with what we know. And you continue getting your money. Of course, money is not the main stuff, but the growth matters a lot. Maybe your dream job is not even in Nigeria. Maybe it's in US, maybe it's in Canada. But what will take you to that thing is what to start developing now. As Fola said, that be ready, be prepared at all times. I know the number of jobs I have like missed due to not that prepared. Even though I know I'm not sleeping, but there are a lot of things that one need to master, and you can't know everything all. So of course, in that case, there's nothing you can do. There was a time when I was in Rwanda, somebody said, I'm looking for who know BigQuery. At that time, I don't know BigQuery. And it was a ready-made job. If I had known BigQuery, maybe I would not be in Nigeria now. Of course, God has helped me to travel outside Nigeria and all of that. But if I had no BigQuery, adding that job in my portfolio, you know what it means, right? But I did not know BigQuery at that time. In fact, that time, okay, it is this year that I know BigQuery through Google Data Analytics. That is why you must always be exposed, as new thing is coming, keep on catching it. Although, don't just be like, you taking everything that comes to your side. No, master one. Once you've mastered it, then you can now go on to explore. If my doctor is exploring, how much more me not to explore? Thank you so much, Fola.
Thanks for that feedback. Okay, Joshua, back to you.
Okay, just a quick one. And this is what Ezekiel have said once. And I need to say this, let me pay this kind of respect. Ezekiel was in R. He started R before I even joined R. I even started using R. I started using R when I was in my UI 2019. And it was some Dr. Yamakin, some lecturers like that we started. So I've been hearing about data science. I know Mr. Bayo. So my interests have always been, who is the arrow person there? I need to connect. And that's how I connected with Mr. Ezekiel and I learned. So there is one thing I want to bring out, and that is, he has said it, that we need to understand statistics. For instance, you go for a kind of training and you are explaining some concept beyond the code. You should be able to bring it clearer to people. For instance, someone's he made mention of it as small as the mean of an observation. You must be able to interpret it and say, okay, if we have this mean, this is the implication, this is what we're going to have. For instance, there is what we used to do in forestry. And it has to do with you modeling some diameter distributions. And a lot of people can run this thing. But one of the things that would make us unique, that will make you unique, is your ability to come up with meaningful insights that would be useful in the management of that particular forest or establishment or company that you find yourself. So recently, there is a program I am to go for in the US. And this program completely, it is different from my background. It is on health analytics. And so the first thing the professor told me was, this guy, he would have to take a course in statistics. That's to tell you how important it is for us to have the understanding of statistics. So when you have the understanding, you won't go through the differentiation integration, but the essence of you going through, I know a lot of bosses are here, Mr. Ezekiel have referenced a doctor, and I want to pay like my homage to Dr. Isaac Ajao. I don't know him, but I think after this program, I'm also going to connect so I can also learn more because I love statistics. And I've understood that for you to really gain some kind of mastery in data science, you must also be very good in statistics. So this is just my submission. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So wrapping up this section, I'm reading slide though. I have some questions here that was asked. So how viable is a data engineering career with R as a base language? Yeah, so I would say that it's an evolving space. So using R for data engineering, it's an evolving space. We're having some packages that are coming up. I think of recent, the most recent one that is being explored is the PIN package. The PIN package, using the PIN package with R Connect and the other packages in the R ecosystem, you can do whatever you want to do. So currently existing today, I use RStudio to plug into the DB. I spool data from whatever DB I want to spool data from, be it a Postgres environment, be it a Microsoft environment, be it an Oracle environment. There are different packages that were built for this. There's Postgres SQL package, there's my R MySQL package, there's DBI. So there are a lot of packages, that you can use. Funny enough, when it comes connected to the DB, my go-to interface is RStudio. It's RStudio. I don't use any of the DBMS that we have. Some people just wonder, what are you doing? And the interesting thing is, once you connect to the DB, you wrap your SQL scripts, everything in your R, codes and everything, and you connect to DB, you do whatever you want to do. And with Spin packages and RStudio connects, you can connect to your Shiny dashboard, build everything. Give the Shiny dashboard to the end consumer or to whatever business unit that needs it. They spool the data and download the data they need themselves. There's a user authentication, everything is all set up. That is currently existing and still evolving and growing. So, it's a very interesting space, happy space to be in. I wish all of these were available 4 or 5 years ago, but yeah, all of these are currently available for all of us to enjoy, and it's a great one. It's a great one. Okay, Joshua, Ezekiel, I can see you're raising up your hand. Over to you as we wrap the session.
Okay, thank you. Although we said that people should master SQL very well, but even without, I can just say that you don't even need to master SQL. Of course, with the help of DB Player, that one will write the SQL code for you. And in fact, without, you can even learn your SQL very well. So that's just it. Thank you for that.
Awesome, great. Okay, and that one, so someone so a question was asked here. Python users are called Pythonistas. Please and please, what are okay? So I call sometimes we just call ourselves R users. You get in Lagos R user group. I call everyone R wiz, like R wizards. Let me use that one. I call everyone R wiz or R users, R stats. When you hear R stats outside, we're actually basically referring to ourselves. R users are referring to ourselves. So that's what I know. I didn't know. Ezekiel, Joshua, is there anyone that you know that I'm not aware of?
All over the world, as you know, Fola, it is called R-Stats. In fact, we have the hashtag R-Stats. So if you want to learn something, like in fact, everybody has been talking about the community. We also have a global community, which is the Twitter space, or which is on Twitter space. So if you need to know something, maybe you are working, as I always do, if I need to, get something and I've been trying, I'm not getting it, I'll just go to the Twitter, write the problem, write the sample of the data and all of that, and then I will just tag R-Stats. And before you know it, people will just come to your help, and that's all. And when I present it in the office, nobody will know that somebody taught me, I just kept it to myself. Because there's no way I can reference say I got it from Twitter. No. Thank you.
Okay. So before you meet your mic, Ezekiel, so what are your last words? What are the things that you have for us as we wrap the session to a close? So what are your last words? What is your advice to the community, to everyone on the call right now?
Okay. My sincere advice is just that remember, Rome was not built in a day. Of course, with determination and focus, you will get there. What Fola knows today did not start today. It started some years ago or some months ago. So just keep on learning. Make sure you are challenging yourself every day. If Dr. Isaac will not sleep, you too should not sleep. Thank you so much.
Okay, over to you. Over to you, Joshua.
Okay. One of the things I'm going to say, like my last words, is still going to be on association. It's going to be on association. And again, I don't know how this is going to go for the group. And when I was coming here, one of the first things like I have in mind is to clear the air on some kind of opinion. Most times when you go to places like this, you're already looking forward to like see the speaker, who is he? No, all of us, we are just like brothers and we are on the group. We can reach out to each other. And one thing I want us to do again on the group is, because I'm always talking about like academics, maybe because of some of the experience I have and some opportunities I've missed. Like for instance, I'm coming from a forestry background, but I can even apply for opportunities that are quite different from forestry. Why? Because of my association with organizations like Lagos Arrow Users and other places. So what I'm looking at is, if it is possible, we can have like the possibility of coming together, leveraging on the input of some professors we have on board. We can have like a publication, we can have something, we can do something. I don't know, I'm just suggesting. We can do a project where every one of us will be collaborators, probably on GitHub, like Lagos Arrow Users. I mean, just to help other people coming up, like young people, especially those who might want to go into academics, okay, have like a publication and some other things that could be useful when applying for some future opportunities. So this is just my last words. Thank you very much, Mr. Fola, for the opportunity. I'm just like the youngest average user here between you and Mr. Ezekiel and others, but it's such a great privilege. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Thank you everyone for staying on the call till this time. I'm so excited to have you. Wow, 21 participants. I really appreciate it. So like I said, once again, we are the Lagos Art User Group. I dropped some links in the chat section. So do well to connect with us on Meetup. You can also join our WhatsApp group. Call up to your question. Mentorship, definitely. We are a community. Do well to follow us up, and we'll see how we can get up each other. In this ship, in this boat, I'm just like a captain. I practically don't know it all. We are, sailing together to until we get to that final destination. So do well to connect with us. Like I said earlier on, this is our first meetup for the year. Hopefully we'll get to have more. Prior to when the pandemic started, all we're just doing, we're meeting bi-weekly, actually, physically in Yaba. And feeding everything was all sorted out. But pandemic happened. But so we are strategizing, and most likely maybe going forward, we're going to employ an online, strictly online event approach, so as to save funds and some other things. But yeah, definitely after this call, we'll be meeting the internal executive team in Lagos Our User Group, because there's an executive team. We'll be meeting, discussing and seeing how we can plan for the year. There's a lot to actually really learn, because there are a lot of roles that are coming up right now. In UK, most especially, we're having a lot of how shiny developers go. And I feel most of us should be very active in that space. We should, all of us should be applying for those jobs. Learn Shiny, learn how to use Shiny, learn how to build machine learning models, learn how to do basic analytics, be an expert using ggplot too. There's this Tidy Tuesday community event that happens every Tuesday. You want to be active. You always want to share what you're doing. You want to talk about what you're doing. So I feel it's a good one. It's a great space. We are in a safe space. A lot of people are coming to tech, a lot of people are hearing about data science, and that you know about it right now, that you've started, shows that you know what you're doing. Kudos to you, kudos to everyone. Thanks for joining this call. I don't know, maybe before I drop off the call, does anyone have anything they want to say? Maybe you have a question or... Yeah, okay, I can see the chat here. Babatunde Adebayo said he's a shining developer. Awesome. Great. Don't worry, definitely. one of these months, we have a month dedicated, strictly dedicated to Shiny development. Last year we had some session on how to build our packages. So we'll be doing maybe monthly. So maybe a month we'll focus on building packages with us so we can contribute to the ecosystem. We'll have session on Shiny. We'll have different things so we can all go in depth to these things. And I'll bring in professionals, people from our studio. Thank God. I think God has really blessed me with that. I'll bring people from our studio that come and connect with us, and people that are in Africa too that are very, very that are so great and experienced in this space, they will come and discuss with us in the community. So do well to connect with us. And I think activity, being active on the groups is also very key. If I don't know you, if I'm not very familiar with you, most likely I won't get to recommend you for anything. So do well to share what you do well to talk about the projects you're working on. Let people get to discuss. Let's get to converse on what you're working on. And yes, definitely, if any opportunity comes, the first thing that will come to my mind is you, because I know this is what you do, and I will definitely recommend you. Yeah, thank you for joining the call. Okay, Joshua, I can see you have your hands raised. You have something else?
Because I love statistics and I love to be a doctor, professor, can we please give room for Dr. Isaac Ajao, like to just talk to us?
Okay, awesome. If the participants will permit us to, please let's just, okay, so can we have Dr. Isaac Ajao for just some few seconds to just.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank every one of us, the organizer. I don't know many people except my man that is calling me his Oga. He's my Oga, I don't mind him. It has been, he taught me something that maybe he has forgotten. He's the one I mentioned to him that he's mentioning. Markdown. In fact, I've been hearing Markdown, but the way he put it across it was in the training, and I got that. And from that time, I teach statistics. I work with federal political advocacy. The way I've been handling that thing before, but the way he presented it really amazed me. And from that day, I've been using it. You see, how generally the RGUI, R Studio, the sharing development, the big, all of those things we are mentioning, it boils down to having great interests. So the interest, that's just something that will be driving you to know more. It is we that are going to advertise statistics. I was somewhere now at school and we're talking about, trying to preach statistics even to secondary school level. We can make statistics in Nigeria greater than this throughout by, sharing what we have, trying to tell you to others beyond the level where we met it. Having PhD in statistics, well, thank God for me today. But having PhD in statistics is not to me is easier than be where we are now today. Gone are the days where we just talk about theory. That the way we are brought up is different from what the challenges of today boys around. So we need to. It is few of us like this that we need to be saying it, and we need to be sharing what we have. I thank you people for all these things you are doing. So and I pray that this year 2022, the Lord will take us to greater heights in Jesus' name. Amen. And what we are doing, please continue doing it and continue sharing the knowledge. Those of us that are aspiring to become professor of statistics, we get here. But your knowledge is more important than just certificates. Let me stop here. All of us, and I'm now knowing Mr. Fola and the brother that introduced me, that says, if you allow me to talk, then I will know all of you later. So I'm talking from Ilorin now, but I work with federal political advocacy. Can I be a member of the group?
Definitely. Yeah, the community is not limited to just Lagosians or Nigerians. So definitely it's a good to have you. And definitely couple of our meetups, we don't have you come facilitate the section. It's one of the things we look forward to. Okay, yeah. So asking Emmanuel, yeah, definitely. Having Julia, Sulej, and David Jetson. I can't pronounce his surname properly right now. Having them join us. Yes, it's going to be a very great one. It's our interface solution is being out of the world. But I'm currently discussing with Applicant. I'm getting positive feedback from them. So they'll most likely champion the whole How Shiny monthly series for us. So just stay tuned. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.